Hello, my name is Kathy Garrett. I'm a modern day, raised from the dead, miracle to be alive. 5 years ago last Easter, I was supposed to die. I was in the hospital and the doctors told me my pancreas was dead and the back of my liver was dead and the front was crinkled up like aluminum foil. And they said there was nothing they could do, no kind of surgery or anything. And I had a blood clot in my lung, so they kept me a few days. And when I come home, hospice was waiting in my yard, and they told me I was gonna die, at the hospital. So I figured maybe 2 or 3 months. And so when I come home, I had just accepted it. When they first told me that I was dying, I felt a relief. And I know that sounds crazy, but I had the worst case of OCD ever. And that's germophobia, cleaning everything. I even used to wash my hair 10 times a day. I couldn't control how I cleaned and scrubbed, and so I hated it so bad. I made several attempts at killing myself, but I would back out. But one time I was so sure. I'm an alcoholic, and that's what made me sick. But I had gotten so drunk that night, years ago, that I believed with all my heart that I could swallow 90 high blood pressure pills and ask God to forgive me, and I would go on to heaven. And I know I was wrong now, but my friend took me in an ambulance to the hospital, and I refused treatment. And the doctor just threw his hands up and they put me in intensive care and just watched for me to die. But God wasn't ready, and I didn't die, and I did take all 90 of them. And the doctor said the strange thing about it was that the only thing that saved my life was because I was drunk. And the side effects of the high blood pressure pills were that alcohol lessened the effects. And then later they gave me another kind of high blood pressure pills, and I read the side effects on that one, and it said alcohol would intensify it. So I would have been dead if I'd have been on the other pills. But I was so tired of living, so when the doctors told me I was dying, at first I was relieved. But when I got home, I got praying, and I prayed and prayed that God would save me, and I had forgotten something. I had already had my last chance. Years ago, I had this dream, and I saw 2 giant presents, white presents, looked just alike, and they were both pink ribbons and pink bows. And God spoke to me out loud, and He said, now pick one, and you can't never, ever, ever change your mind. So I woke up, and naturally I got saved. Gave my heart to God. I didn't want to go to hell, and I knew that was my last chance. But months later, like I had done all my life, I went back to drinking. I backslid and I started back. And so I had forgotten all about that dream until I tried to get saved, and God wouldn't save me. So during those months, and I was hanging over hell. I knew I didn't have a chance. And over the next few months, sometimes I drank anyway because I knew it wasn't going to save me or, make it any worse. But the last time I drank 28 beers. And I went to sleep about 1:30 in the morning, feeling okay. But when I woke up, I wasn't okay. And my liver was so dead that it couldn't process 28 beers. And I woke up in a horrible mess, just screaming and hollering. And that very day, I stopped drinking cold turkey. No withdrawal, no side effects, nothing. I just quit because my OCD and germophobia couldn't take being messy like that. So after I quit drinking, about the next day, God did like He did in the Bible. I believe it was with Nineveh and Him sending Jonah to preach to the people. And so God changed His mind and he gave me one last chance. And if I ever drank one swallow of beer or wine or liquor, anything, I'll go to hell. And I know it because the Bible says God will not always strive with man. And from the time I was 15, I never made it a whole year on not drinking. So now, this coming October, 2 days, one day before Halloween, will be exactly 5 years that I haven't drank. And I never had no, side effects or anything. And God did so much for me. And I also noticed that he healed my OCD. And it's just gone. It's healed. And I found out later I've got bipolar, but God has healed that and took care of that too. And during the time that I was dying, I was worried about my grandbabies, that they wouldn't know me, that I would die before they were big enough. But now they know me. They call me Grandma Kathy, and they love me. They make me have a purpose on earth. But after God healed me, well, first of all, I was on 2 different hospices, and they said it was very rare to come off of one, much less 2. And so then they sent me back to my family doctor, and he said that my organs, my pancreas and my liver had totally regenerated themselves. And I said, "You mean I'm not going to die?" And he said, "No, you're not going to die." And so I went home, and one day I was laying in the bed praying, and I didn't have any friends or anything, but I prayed for God to give me something to do to repay him for what he had done. I asked him for something simple because I didn't know what I could do. And he spoke to me out loud then, and he said, "Go from church to church as far as you can go, or as far as your husband can take you, and give your testimony." And my first answer was, "Oh Lord, no." Because I said, "I'm bashful, I can't do it." But I did. When God tells you to do something, he makes the way. And every time I did it, I enjoyed it more. People were shouting and praising the Lord. And sometimes I'd go back to the same church over and over because I just enjoyed it. But God has done so much in my life. And especially, I know it's wonderful he healed my organs, but knowing that he healed my OCD, he gave me a reason to live, and keep going. So I hope that there's no one listening right now that might have pushed God far enough back that, that he wouldn't save them. But always never give up on God, because just like in the Bible, he changed his mind and gave me one more chance. And I can't even be an alcoholic again. I'm free. And I don't have to worry about it. I feel like instead of God delivering me, he healed me from it. And it all went away. And so I thank you all for listening. And I hope this testimony will do somebody some good. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.